Hello, math students. So let's take a look at problem 3 from the section 2.5 notes we did in class today. Our first step is to familiarize ourselves with the word problem. So let's go ahead and read it. It says the second angle of a triangle is twice as large as the first angle, and the measure of the third angle is 20 greater than the first. Find the measure of each angle. So our task here is to find the measurement of each angle in a triangle based on the clues that are given in this prompt. But you have to have some outside information about triangles to be able to solve this. You have to know that the sum of the three angles in any triangle is 180 degrees. So here's my triangle. I'm going to arbitrarily label these angles first, second, and third. And I know that if I add up the measurements of each of these angles in the triangle, it should sum to 180. So I'm going to write myself a little note. The measurement of the first angle plus the measurement of the second angle plus the measurement of the third angle should all sum to 180 degrees. So let's reread our clues about the different angles in this triangle. It tells me that the second angle, so this guy down here, is twice as large as the first angle. But I don't know the first angle. So I'm going to put an X to indicate that I don't know the measurement of that first angle. But if the measurement is X and the second angle is twice as large, it's going to be 2X. Then it tells me that the measure of the third angle is 20 greater than the first. So again, I don't know what the first one is, so I put an X, but the third is 20 more than that amount. So whatever the first is, which is X, I'm going to add 20 to that. So now I have enough information about every angle in this triangle to figure out the individual degrees. Because if I add all three of those measurements up, it should total to 180 degrees. So the first angle, I represented that measurement with an X, and I'm going to add that to the second measurement, which is represented by 2X. I'm going to add that to the third measurement, which is represented by X plus 20. And all together, those three angles sum to 180. So now we have an equation that we can solve. No worries, we're just going to simplify it and then solve for X. So on the left-hand side of my equation, I have 1X here plus 2 more plus 1 more. So that's going to combine to 4X altogether plus 20 equals 180. And we'll just solve the equation from here. I'm done simplifying the equation. Now I'm going to start solving it. So I'll subtract 20 from both sides. Those are going to combine to 0, and I'm left with 4X on the left-hand side is equal to 160. So since the 4 is being multiplied with our X, we're just going to divide it out. So I'm going to divide both sides by 4. 4 divided by 4 is just 1, so I'm left with 1X. And on this side, 160 divided by 4 is 40. So at this point, I see a lot of students get super excited and they circle this because they know what X is, it's 40. And they move on and they get this problem wrong. Because we haven't answered our question. The question asks to find the measure of each angle, and all I found right now is X. So I'm going to go back and look at my little diagram I drew and see what this X is representing. So I can see from my diagram that X is representing the measurement of the first angle. So now I know that this first angle is going to be 40 degrees. And knowing that measurement, I can figure out all the other measurements in the triangle. Because the second angle was twice as large as the first, so I'm going to multiply 2 times 40 with 2X, so I'm going to evaluate that X for 40. So 2 times 40 is going to be 80 degrees. And the third angle was 20 greater than the first. So if the first is 40, that's going to be 40 plus 20, which adds to 60. So now I've answered my question. It asks me to find a measurement of each angle. I found a measurement for each angle, but I always want to make sure I can check my work. Every word problem you can check yourself to see if you solved it correctly. So if I add up all three of these angles, it should sum to 180 degrees. So that's how I'm going to check myself. I'm going to add the first angle plus the second plus the third. Oops. So that's going to be 0. 6 plus 4 is 10, plus 8 is 180. So sure enough, I found a measurement for each angle, and they all total to 180 degrees. So I know I did this problem correctly, and I can move on to the next one.